Hey everybody, I'm Laura DeCarlo of Career Directors International. If you're currently thinking about starting, or actively building a resume writing or career coaching business, I am so glad you've joined me today. In this show, we share tools, strategy, and mindset tips that lead to your ultimate success without the stress. Now, we're currently streaming on CDI's Facebook page, YouTube channel, and LinkedIn page. But we're not going to deal with any of the drama of opting in. I'm just going to ask you when you comment for the first time in the chat, give me your full name. That way I'll be able to see who you are and whether the different platforms are actually giving me your name or not. There's nothing less fun than talking to LinkedIn user and Facebook user and not knowing who you are. We want to build community and relationships here. So please use your name. And I'll let you know if you forget and I can't see anything but LinkedIn user. All right, if you don't know me yet, my goal is to become your not-so-secret superpower. At Career Directors International, we provide everything you need to love and excel at what you do so you can make a difference while also earning an exceptional living as a career industry professional. So, this season, we've been focused on learning what's working and what's not in career industry businesses today by tapping into the results of CDI's second annual Critical Industry Analysis Survey. Those results and what we're seeing in the industry have led to the current Cyber Week offers that we have open through Friday, as well as planning our annual holiday downtime event to happen earlier in December, as in today. So yes, you've got time to make and have a plan for how you're going to use your time this year. So if it isn't clear yet what we're talking about, we are literally going to be talking about 10 ways that you as a career industry entrepreneur, be that resume writer or career coach, can leverage your holiday downtime to ensure that you're set up for big wins in the new year. But before we get into that, I want to ask you to do 3 things. First, let me know who you are in the chat, and I'm just going to open that up here real quick. Give me your full name the first time you comment. Maybe let me know where you are joining me from. Second, if you have questions today or want to share any of your thoughts on a topic, please use the chat. I will be monitoring it the entire time, looking to communicate with you. It's so much more fun when we go back and forth. And third, if you want to make sure you don't miss my show, be sure to like, subscribe, or follow, depending on your platform, so that you don't miss when we go live every week, Wednesday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. Now, I have been looking at the calendar. It looks like Christmas and New Year's both fall on Wednesdays. I'm definitely not going to go live on those shows, but I haven't quite figured out exactly yet what we're going to do. But all right. 10 ways that you as resume writers, career coaches, career industry entrepreneurs can leverage holiday downtime. And I'm just going to get that off of the screen here. And I don't see anything in the chat yet, so let's go here. So this topic, I'm always excited about holiday downtime strategy discussions because I find that for entrepreneurs, it can be go, go, go. And then if you suddenly find yourself with free time, it can lead to a lot of scrambling, panic, or just low productivity, which type A's that we don't do really well with that, and that can lead to guilt, fear, anxiety. Now, don't get me wrong. I would totally prescribe holiday downtime for anyone and everyone who can afford to take it. We all need rest and rejuvenation. Today's strategies are for those who maybe know they need a boost or who have been running flat out without a plan and recognize that having a plan is going to be super valuable. And it's also for those who just want to know what options are out there because let's face it, knowledge is power and you're better off with the wisdom to use when you're ready than finding yourself needing ideas and strategy and not having any ready to go. So still not seeing anything in the chat, but in case somebody is here lurking with me, why don't you let me know what your current plans are for the holiday in the chat? Are you taking the last 1 to 2 weeks in December and through the new year off, working maybe part of the time? Are you working straight through? Maybe anything particularly exciting going on? I know you guys know my alter ego. I will be dancing in front of 10,000 spectators on the beach Christmas Eve morning, and I can't wait. But that's just my fun. All right, if you are ready, give me a let's go in the chat and I will get into number one. But also with the reminder that with the replay, with these topics, I'm going to be pointing to a wealth of supporting resources. If you want to dive deeper in a topic for scripts, templates, calendars, processes, most are for members, but we have kind of a ridiculously large free resources library for non-members as well. And I have tried to break it down in the additional resource section of the replay page. You can also get to the free stuff, or if you're not on our list to get notified of the replay recording, head over to careerdirectors.com, click on free stuff in the navigation, and go ahead and opt into something so you can get these great emails. Golden stuff. Our non-members who ultimately become members, always tell us that they were able to have such success just with the free stuff that it just made sense to see what was on the inside. Okay, number one, here we go. Make time for celebrating wins and identifying lessons learned from the past year. So I have this first because so many results-focused entrepreneurs just totally skip this step. For instance, this year, I managed to create 3 new courses and a total of 14 offers for CDI for Cyber Week. Just the content creation alone in those courses is a lot, but then you add in website copy, graphics, social media, all the other marketing pieces, collaboration with the team. This is a huge endeavor for just one course, let alone 3. And there were honestly times I thought I would never make it, but I did. And I was proud of myself, but as I went to bed just last night, I realized I had just jumped into the very next must on my list instead of really celebrating the wins and learning from any lessons of how it could be handled differently next time. So maybe, it was really fluid. It was well planned out, but you always are like, oh, if I started 2 months earlier, imagine how great that would be. It's just way too easy to be hard on ourselves or burn out when we don't take time to stop and smell the roses. It's equally important to spend that time looking at what we learned so we don't repeat the same mistakes going forward. So we don't turn small molehills into mountains that even stop us from trying again. So please make some time to create a list and throw yourself a private party. Maybe treat yourself to something for all you've accomplished this year. And each and every step that you took out from the folks who punch a clock and then go just stare at a TV. That's not what entrepreneurs do, right? But we just ride ourselves really hard and don't take this time to pat ourselves on the back. And honestly, if you didn't get things done like you wanted or they didn't go as you wished, put more energy into that as well, because those things don't have to stop you. My close friend since 3rd grade told me a few years ago, she said that, Laura, you're like a force of nature. You're like water. She said, you will always find a way. You'll go around a problem, over the problem, through the problem. Basically like water, you're going to keep persevering, hitting that shore over and over again until you finally get what you want. But think about water, it's active. But even when the surface is smooth, there's action taking place. Little tiny actions we don't see when we look at the surface. We need to celebrate our actions, each and every one of them that we took over the average and the ordinary, the mediocre and the medium, because it's worth noticing what we're doing, recognizing how to try again, and learning how to persevere, because that's what leads to success. Is trying again and learning from the lessons and celebrating the successes. So I don't know, my drive is crazy. I call it a primal drive that just makes me refuse to ever come to the end of my life and have regrets. I picture this whole, and it's a driver for sure, but I picture this whole, I don't want to be lying on my deathbed, that whole life flashing before your eyes and have time to have regrets, because I have right now to make those choices, those changes, and take those opportunities. But it has to start with celebrating what I did, not thinking immediately about what I need to do next, but stopping and going, Dang, girl, you created 3 courses and you brought all this stuff to fruition while handling all the other stuff you always do. And that, my friend, needs to be celebrated. All right. I know that went long, and on the others, we're going to be a lot shorter, but I'm really passionate about this. I think you can tell because it doesn't take a lot of time and effort, but it really has such great rewards. And I'll just end this number one by saying I had a client one time when I was a resume writer and career coach. And he billed, I can't remember what it was he did. It's been too long. I think he was some type of a consulting project manager, but he billed approximately $500 an hour. And he was proud of the fact that whoever his client was at the time, part of the billing was an hour of planning at the beginning of the week and an hour of reflecting on what worked, what didn't, what to do differently, and what to celebrate at the end. Some people do it daily. I'm just asking you to do it for the year. So why don't you let me know in the chat one of your wins or lessons learned from 2024. Mine is obviously to stop and smell the roses and celebrate more. And obviously the story I just told you is pretty high up there because I'm pretty proud of what I accomplished. One of the ideas wasn't even presented to me until, I don't know, October, beginning of November. And I was like, I can do that. Okay. All right. Are we ready for number 2? Let's move on. I'm still not seeing anything in the chat. So number 2 is to ensure brand uniformity on all platforms. Now, I know many resume writers, career coaches, other entrepreneurs in the career services industry, you're going to be most active, most likely on LinkedIn. But quite often we still end up with our efforts cobbled together as we grow. And then our taglines, our colors, our systems, our logos, they can be like, everything's up to date over here, but not there. We've used different colors here or there. So like we might have different colors on our social media than we have on our website because we were just like getting it up quickly on the LinkedIn platform or whatever platform you're actively using, or we've earned a certification and we haven't added the acronyms to our names everywhere. We haven't updated our signature line on our emails. We haven't updated the About Us section on our website. Maybe we've learned new things we should be adding as well, and we just haven't made the time to do that. So this is a great time of year to make sure that everything is up to date and matching and tidied up. And if you are a CDI member, I also want to encourage you, don't forget to check your public member profile. We give you a super robust profile option. It's modeled on one that people were paying hundreds of dollars to have just a profile listing like this for job seekers. And it's there for you, but you gotta log in and take advantage of it. So let me know in the chat, what are some other ideas you might add here, other things that you need to update in your brand consistency to make sure you're shining as bright as you can for 2025 and the new year, and all those prospects who want to find you and go, ooh, look at this person. Ooh. All right. Number 3, take advantage of prospect lists that you have, or let's get one started. Okay, so look, not everyone is going to find you when they're ready to purchase. Sure, on social media, they can usually just hit follow, but too often you're going to encourage action with a lead magnet in your profile or on your website with the purpose of giving something that in turn gets you email addresses on your list. In other words, we're taking somebody cold and trying to warm them up so that they'll be hot when they are ready to buy. So this is an area I just don't see enough career industry entrepreneurs taking advantage of. Yet selling to a list who wanted to opt in for information from you is so much easier than trying to find cold business on social media. So first, do you have a list? If you don't, you're going to want to create a dynamite lead magnet to attract those prospects. And if you do have a list, is it time to look at your lead magnet? Is it up to date? Does it need to be replaced? I mean, it could be one you put in place years ago and now it's not that hot, or you're not adding people to your list. If you're a CDI member, you can take advantage of our Done For You job seeker tip sheets. You're able to download those in Word, brand them, customize them, give them away, or sell them. We do have a few members who use one as a lead magnet on their website, and you can do that too. Removes all the struggle and strife of what do I create, and makes it easy. But so make sure you got one for a list and make sure it's up to date. Now, if you have one and it's working great at funneling people onto your list, what are you doing with that list? Should this maybe be time for you to turn a few emails that you have on it, just thanking them for getting the item that they signed up for and telling them where to get it? Is it maybe time to create a more robust and lengthy autoresponder series? This might be a great time to take a look at refining that. And if you are in CDI's Accelerator Plus level of membership, or you join that level during our, we right now have in our Cyber Week offers, we have a join that level of membership discounted in both monthly and annual. And then we also have for existing regular members, we have an option to just add what we call it's the exact same thing, but it's called the Career Industry Accelerator Club. But if you join that now, not only do you get the great discounts and all the awesome resources, but just last month, I did a deep dive custom training on everything autoresponders. And you'll be able to access both the video and the audio MP3 to listen to on the go from that custom training, because you do have access to the last 3 months that you didn't pay for, which is awesome. All right, I see something in the chat. Lori says, hi, Lori. Lori says, branding uniformity across all channels and an updated lead magnet are both great projects for this time of year, right? Yes, because you want to come out of the gate just rocking it in January. And Joan says, hi from Joan. Hi, Joan. Good to see you. Recent birthday girl joining me. I love it. All right. So also for CDI members, I am going to share a link with the replay of this live on making special offers, because I did this great program that had like 14 ways you could make offers without having to give discounts. And so it's going to give you a lot of extra juice for these ideas here too. So listen, if everything is great, maybe all you need to take away from this is number 3, actually, not number 2, is to add a call to action on your LinkedIn profile for your lead magnet. Maybe put it on your signature, under your signature line, or as part of your signature line in your emails. Put that puppy everywhere, because it's going to get fresh blood onto your lists. And those can be a great thing. If anyone was following me during the COVID lockdown, you're going to remember that it was so much easier to motivate your list and your former client, including former clients, if you had a list. If you didn't have a list, you were talking into the void. But if you had a list, you had people to say, to nurture and support and remove the fear and help them be prepared and ready. And I can remember one member in particular walked away from an Accelerator Club meeting, and she made an offer to people on her list to get prepared. And I think it was like $3,500, 3 sales totaling $3,500 within just a couple days because of one email. Lists are great. You want to raise your price? Lists are great. Prices, sorry. All right, let me know in the chat who has a great lead magnet, or who's going to add one as a call to action, maybe to their LinkedIn profile or somewhere else. And always, I love to know anyone with us today who's using one of CDI's Done For You job seeker tip sheets for their lead magnet. All right, let's get into number 4. I'm going to run out of water fast today. I still have 6 to go here. Yeesh. All right, number 4 is to tap into existing client relationships. So listen, if you're good at what you do and your customers are happy, they can and will be your raving fans. But no matter what we help them to achieve or how recently it was, we have to assume that they're also busy enough to lose track of what you can do for them going forward, and anyone else they know who might need you. I love December and January as a perfect time for following up with existing clients, whether that's starting a nurture series, a autoresponder series, or it's just saying thank you again for their business, wishing them happy holidays, and perhaps making them an offer to start out on the right foot in the new year. This type of outreach is naturally fitting, very timely for the holidays because, people send cards, they get thank yous. And don't forget, existing clients are still a top way that career industry pros grew their business in the last year. And they've already bought into you, which means it's not a cold sale. You're taking somebody who's already knows the benefits of working with you and reminding them that, hey, you want to go into the new year with an updated resume. Or you maybe know colleagues, or maybe that new graduate, it's time to help them kick off with with my support and help. So hopefully you've told your clients you were adding them to your list as you've gone along so that they could always easily find you, stay abreast of new trends, and never miss opportunities that come knocking because they've kept their career documents and strategies fresh. But if you don't have the list, now again may be an excellent time to get one set up and to start telling new clients going forward you're adding them and they can always opt out. You just pitch it as a positive of, hey, I'm going to add you. I've added you to my email list. I found, and this is true from when I had my private practice, I found in the past that even though I try to keep communications going with my former clients, I've had too many come back who say, all I could remember was Laura and competitive something. It was almost impossible to track you down. And so I want to make sure that when you have a new job tapping you on the shoulder, or you're ready for an update, or feel you need to position yourself for a raise, or just want to send one of your colleagues to me to have the same type of great results, that you can easily find me. And I also want to make sure that you're tapped into the great advice, tips, and resources that I do share with my list. And that's all you have to say. If somebody's like, oh, I don't want to be on a list, and you can say, okay, I'll remove you, no problem. Or when you get the first email, if you decide it's not what you want, just opt out. Easy peasy. Spin it positive. It's always positive. And if you want to add former clients to a list, this can be a slow process. I always say if you've got a teen handy, or you have a stay-at-home parent friend or retiree who's computer savvy, this can be a great job for somebody like that to do on the side for you. Also, if you have a VA, because it's just a matter of going through old resumes and grabbing information. Now, I am really big on the can spam laws and not just saying, oh, well, they bought from me a year ago, I'll add them. I think that's a mistake. So I do recommend, and that's why it can take some time, I do recommend you create a template email and you be having somebody who's cutting and pasting email addresses and names in, or you're using some type of a mail merge form so that you can let them know, hey, I've created a list because, I've had too many clients struggle to find me when they're ready for their next step in their career. And so expect to start receiving those emails, and you can opt out if you wish. So again, easy peasy. And we'll let you get more and more of your people on your list as you go. All right. Let me know in the chat what you do for client follow-up or outreach, especially as it relates to this time of year. I've heard a lot of really neat things. My favorite, I'll just close with, is I used to send out like a one-pager newsletter with thank you, tip, and a 10% off through January for existing client resume updates. And for me, I know a lot of people are super busy in January, so you might want to plan in the future to have this be a December offer if your December is slow. But for me, I needed to, have business in January. So I would do that, and it would always fill my calendar, and it would get my clients thinking of me for referrals at the beginning of the year. All right, I don't see anything in this chat, so let's move on to number 5, and that is making it rain with prospect follow-up. Now, I got to start by saying I don't like to sell, and I wouldn't call myself a salesperson in any way, shape, or form. In fact, despite the fact that I do this show and whatnot, that comes from that drive I talked about in number one. I'm very, very introverted and don't, I, I don't know. I did great as a speaker. I have a harder time in these one-on-one having to convince somebody types of situations. But again, that drive to be successful as an entrepreneur, and part of that is getting the paying projects that make it viable. So this one is great, but it takes, I think, a touch of getting out of our comfort zone, but it can pay huge dividends when you go in. So we've all had this happen. You do a great consult, provide the quote, and then the client has to think about it. Right? Yeah, I know. I feel your pain. You feel my pain. So hopefully you've seen the free video tip I have on it, and you're already using my strategy for getting them booked into a mini session. That again, there's a free video, and I will link to that. But if you didn't, or they wouldn't, it's very common that they disappear. Like, oh no, I'm not. I won't know by tomorrow, or I'm not ready. Let me just get back to you, is what you hear. And you may send one or two emails. You might even pick up the phone and call them, but often it's crickets. Well, I don't let that rest because I don't just presume they went and found someone else. I presume that they tried to do it themselves and may still be failing. At worst case scenario, they're not going to get back to me because they're already happily employed. But my husband used to say, and this again goes back to my private practice when I worked with job seekers, that he would say I could make it rain every time I had to slow down in my private practice because I would pick up the phone. No, not send an email, but I would pick up the phone and I would reach out to anyone who had to think about it in the past 6 months. Yes, 6 months. Think about it. How long do job seekers sometimes drag on in their job searches when they go it alone? It can be a year. I've worked with job seekers who were well into ending their second year up at the director level, and were finally coming to me because they realized they didn't know what they were doing on their own. So if I got voicemail, which 99% of the time I got, maybe all of the time, I would say something like, "Hi, Jim. This is Laura DeCarlo of A Competitive Edge Career Service. We met a few months ago to discuss your resume and job search. So I was just checking in to see if you were still needing assistance. Hopefully you've already landed a great new job, but if not, we can get you on the right track and expedite the process. Please call me back at blah, 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 or send me an email to blah, blah, blah." And that's it. And if someone was still looking, this could be a really great eye opener for them. And I pulled, again, the make it rain thing, which I get a kick out of because, again, I'm not salesy at all, but I pulled back in many a client who I hadn't convinced of the ROI initially, or maybe I had, but they thought, oh, for the price, I can do it myself. Because remember, we're talking 4-figure packages was what I was doing from the 90s through when I closed my practice. And I did have a very high close rate. So it wasn't a lot of people, but some slipped through. So yeah, it's great, but it does involve picking up the phone. And I know a lot of people are self-employed, so they don't have to do that. But how driven are you to fill in a gap? It's easy, again, to talk to somebody you've already talked to than a complete stranger. So why not do it? And CDI members, you do have access to the entire consultation strategy that I use, and I'll link to that. And again, I'm linking to that, what to do when they have to think about it video, which is open to everyone. And that'll be on the replay page. All right, for the chat. Who here has a good track record of converting prospects who had to think about it? Or who's going to try this one? Let me know. Give me maybe a #me if so. And let's see. Joan says she will add the call to action for her lead magnet to her LinkedIn. Awesome, Joan. I'm so glad to hear it. And I love the participation. Makes this so much more fun. All right, number 6. Review your prices, packages, and consultation strategy. Listen, there's nothing worse than leaving money on the table from necessary services that weren't pitched, packaged, or priced optimally, or sales that weren't closed. Again, the whole not being a salesperson was something I knew over 30 years ago. So I came up with a 3-step education and show and tell strategy that crushes any DIY beliefs in the job seeker. It helps them see they need a complete solution, and it makes them eager to pay even in the 4-figure range. And yes, that's the script and process that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So way back in the 90s, I was using a version of today's process to close 94 to 97% of my consults to clients at all levels. And again, they were 4-figure packages. They started at $1,200. And since then, I have adapted and modernized it, which I think we've helped. I'm getting a little spastic. Let me calm down. I get excited. I think I've probably helped hundreds of resume writers and career coaches to do this as well with this system. And I've got tons of testimonials saying things like, I doubled my prices and it was like I was giving away gold. He couldn't get his credit card out fast enough. Or each time I used one of your strategies, my sales doubled and I had a $20,000 week as a result. So I know this process works. And whether you want to try to figure it out on your own, if you're already a CDI member and you tap into, I'm handing it to members. Every single bit of it is out there for the grabbing. It's really great. But beyond just having access to that, if you're not doing one-on-one consulting with me or Accelerator Plus consulting tier of membership to get consulting, I do want to say, if this is an area that you're feeling challenged with and know that, yeah, I should be adjusting my prices each year and I should have package options so that people have a choice between yes and yes versus yes and no. We have a live course that literally kicks off on Monday, and it's only 6 days long, but it's intensive, it's fun. We're going to cover everything about pricing. What's in your package, way beyond what you think is possible right now. Pricing, packaging, and closing. So it's going to be a super cool course. It is open only to members because of all the added resources we put in it. It's also only $199, and it's something I've never done below the $500 one-on-one 90-minute session or the 6-session consulting program that I do, which is $2,697, unless you're an Accelerator Club member and you get a discount. But check out the deep dive resources with the replay. Look at the course. If they aren't for you or you're not ready, at least please remember that the new year represents a perfect time to announce new prices, but we also want to have the traction of not just sneaking our new prices out there, but using the FOMO, the fear of missing out, with those prices to actually promote the prices are coming. So this is great timing. People do New Year's raises all the time. Please look at your pricing, your packaging, and your closing process, because you can't succeed if you can't earn enough per client to justify the amount of time these projects and client services take you. You're going to burn out, or you're going to become bitter or run out of money. I see these things all the time, and literally we are career industry superheroes who save the day for people. If you're good at what you do, you deserve to be compensated for it. All right, let me know in the chat if you're using CDI's consultation strategy, and let me know if you're going to look at your prices and packages before the new year. All right. Okay, Lori, thank you for the #me. And then you said, I like your idea of following up with 6 months worth of prospects. Yes, awesome. I'm so glad. You just never know, right? And you've already talked to them. If nothing else, even if they went on to be successful, I believe they're going to be impressed that you were confident enough to follow up with them and circle back. And they may now think of you for their colleagues, because let's face it, career services, resume writing services, literally anybody is your potential client. When I was first starting out, I worked with a business owner who wanted a resume as part of his consulting he would do to the people who bought out his company. So even business owners are on the table. They need LinkedIn profiles. They need resumes to get contracts and to bid. And interviewing is not limited to people just looking for jobs. There are skills that need to be built for maintaining your job and your career trajectory. So there's just so many opportunities there. All right. So number 7, we were at 7. Woo-woo. We're 3/4 of the way through, if I'm doing my math right. Review your marketing visibility and engagement efforts. So, have you ever been winging it with, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, you're winging it with posting daily, maybe to LinkedIn, or you're erratically posting when you can, and that's more not posting than posting, or not blogging than blogging, or doing your show and not doing your show. Or are you flitting from this opportunity to that opportunity because you're just not sure where you should be and what's going to stick, and you're all over the place? And obviously your results can be all over the place if you're doing that as well. So we've talked about prospect lists and former client nurturing, but there's a lot you can do to attract new prospects to you beyond these things. So this could include using the time you have now to plan out your content for the next year. And CDI members, we do provide you with access to a content calendar planner. We have several AI bonus prompts to help generate ideas for a content calendar. But honestly, it makes life so much easier if you do something like pick a monthly topic, your theme that you're going to talk about on your platform. Or better yet, you stop trying to speak to everyone and you pick a niche to cultivate. So if you just want to post in general, I talk about the monthly niching in a replay on LinkedIn posting. There's a couple of them I'll link to that you can access to learn more about niching and more about themed posting. But I just really want to emphasize a plan should totally have you thinking about a population you love working with that you're going to niche focus to as part of your 2025 plan. I know that scares a lot of people when I say you should niche. I want you to just hear that speaking to one population doesn't mean that's the only population that you're speaking to. It means that you are carving out a niche along with what you're doing. So now you're speaking to a particular group. You're talking in their language and their concepts. You know who they are, where they hang out at in terms of professional associations and conferences and training entities and groups online. Oh gosh. So it can make life so much easier, and it doesn't have to replace all of your marketing. It just becomes part of it. So, oh gosh, you can see I've messed myself up here. Hold on. So I will also add real quickly with niching, because this is a topic I get asked about all the time. We have another 5-day live course. The other one was a 6-day, but we have a 5-day challenge course kicking off on Monday, January 6th, on niche target marketing. And I'm going to walk you through the entire repeatable process. Gosh darn my throat. So that you're able to look at making this part of your process in 2025. And again, this is not the only thing we can do here. Other things that you could look at doing are earning an advanced certification or completing one that you bought and you've been meaning to work on. If you're wanting to sign up for one, now is the time. CDI has 7 on special for both members and non-members. This might be time for planning your TORI Resume Writing Award entries or other competition entries for the new year, because that's another great way to stand out and make marketing easy, is with an award or, so awards credentials. Members of CDI also have access to free member included opportunities, like you can become an expert guest blogger on our job seeker blog. You can get any books you've written free or fee listed in our job seeker resources section, or you can participate in our expert Q&A job seeker articles. So those are benefits there. And yes, we do have membership on Cyber Special as well through Friday. Everything's through Friday. So, okay. Whatever you do, planning in advance will make your life so much easier and ensure you don't skip leveraging valuable visibility opportunities. So whether it's, finishing a credential, starting a credential, creating a calendar, deciding to niche, this is a great time to focus on it. If you plan now, maybe you can use AI to help you generate ideas. You can pre-schedule content, batch content. It's not going to be nipping at your heels when you go back to being busy mid-January. All right, so what might you plan to do in terms of your own visibility and engagement plan for 2025? Let me know in the chat. And let's see, nothing new in the chat yet, so I will move on to number 8. And thank goodness my voice came back. All right, try not to swallow my own breath in the wrong way again. All right, so number 8 is get that project, product, or program off of your plate. Just do it, right? Often I think we get caught up in busy work. I can remember Pat Schuler always talked about big rocks and do the big thing first, but it's always like, oh, I got to get through these emails. Oh, I've got to do this. And we've got some lessons that I've also connected to with the replay. But whatever this thing is, it could be the book you've been writing or meaning to write, a project that's lurking, a certification or course to complete, or making time for that marketing we were just talking about. But if it's not scheduled, it's not going to happen. And often, even when we schedule, we don't hold that time as sacred because it's not a have to. It's just an if that doesn't materialize unless we finally put energy into it. And it doesn't mean you have to finish writing an entire book or creating an entire course during the holidays, but it could mean maybe putting together a doable plan to get it complete in the new year. Now, I can remember my very first course creation. I put it off for a really long time. I always thought I was looking for the perfect time to get it done. Then I read Barbara Scher's book, I Could Do Anything If I Only Knew What It Was, which ironically wasn't so much about figuring out what you wanted to do, but figuring out how to get what you wanted actually accomplished. Such a great book. She was really the mother of career coaching. Rest in peace. Anyway, I realized I was never going to find the perfect time. And instead, with what I learned in the book, I opted to spend, as one of her options and suggestions was, I just opted to spend 30 minutes at the end of each day working on it. 5 days a week, 30 minutes. And I wouldn't even stay at my desk. I would bring my laptop out to the family room and my husband could be watching television and I'd just be typing away. 30 minutes, just like anything you make a plan for. You're taking a 30-minute walk each day or you're prepping meals. It was just something I built in and did. And within less than 6 months, I had the first version of the Certified Employment Interview Consultant course created. And that was back in trying to figure out 98 or 99. And over the years, the program has helped so many university students, transitioning military, career coaches, resume writers who want to get into career services. And it's easily, those 30 minutes a day stacking up have easily made me well over 6 figures with the workbooks and the credentialing course fees over this time frame. So it wouldn't exist if I had kept waiting for the perfect time to get it done. So what matters is you take action or make a plan to do so. And if you find yourself in January and you didn't make the time or do the plan, members, please, please, please join us for our Accelerate Live. I think there's more to the name and it's just eluding me at the moment, but it's a 90-minute program that we offer our members included in membership. And I'm doing it in January because it's such a great time to get a plan in place, but it lets you really create a granular 30-day plan of actions you're going to take. So be there or be square. Just kidding. All right. So let me know in the chat who has something they're trying to get finished by the end of the year that's been, leaning on you for a while, or maybe you've just jumped on it and you're committed to making it happen. Give me a hashtag yes if you just want to let me know that you can relate to having one of those, or if you want to tell me more, please do. But I'm going to, in the meantime, move on to number 9, which is check your client agreement twice. And yes, I was trying to be silly, riffing on he's making a list and checking it twice, which only those who celebrate Christmas can relate to. But the truth is, with the way the world changes, your client agreement may need to change now too. So in CDI, literally collectively, we've got hundreds of years of wisdom that we have tried to apply from our members to tweak our sample client contracts that we make available. Again, they're Word documents that you can download. So whether you've got access to these amazing member included templates or not, like if you're not a member, you do need to make sure that right now you're updating your client agreement. That should be one of those things you do every year, looking at it and going, what has changed. So at least think of the challenges you faced over the past year and make sure you found a way to write it into your agreement to save you time, money, and misunderstandings, also chargebacks and and bad reviews. So common topics that I see come up that people are looking to get into their contracts are around clients missing submission deadlines or being no-shows, not have prepaid sessions, wasting your time and then wanting that, not having a permission clause for using resumes in competition or book submissions. So now you're scrambling when one opportunity comes up and you're like, oh God, I now got to have to ask everybody. And also no refund policies, and maybe your position on guarantees has changed. Spend some time now. Make sure your agreement is representing you and protecting you to the best of its ability right now. And again, members, I will link to the samples we have and in the replay page. All right, so let me know in the chat what's been your most important addition to your client agreement since you got started. All right, and Joan says, website. Okay, Joan, awesome. Work on the website. Our website can be the cornerstone of our businesses, so I think that sounds perfect. All right, we're on to number 10, our final item for today. And just as a reminder, I'm not telling you to do this whole list. I'm just giving you options, lots of options, so you can pick what works best for you. So number 10 is build and nurture colleague connections. Again, professional referrals and partnerships rank very high in ways your colleagues have been growing their businesses. Plus, being an entrepreneur, working from home, that can be really isolating and lonely. There's nothing better than professional relationships and the friendships that can be born from them for helping to sustain us and help us to get ahead, whether that's because you're just supporting each other, being accountable to each other, or you're actually doing projects together. I think that the last time I held this session, I had a group of members who met through a CDI member included session who actually wrote a book together. And that's awesome. But there's also partnerships and referrals and all those great things. So in CDI, if you choose to be a CDI member, we've got a lot of great ways for you to connect. We have a Facebook group. We do let non-members in that group as well. You can join it from our free stuff page on the website. But association members can take part in our included live events, which always have at least one-to-one breakout, unless it's an entire networking event, like our Give and Receive event in November, which is so awesome. Those in our Inner Circle Accelerator Plus membership tier have more opportunities And then next week on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, all association members have access to our first ever virtual holiday party. We're going to have fun games, networking, maybe even prizes. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I have linked to upcoming live events with the replay. And members also have access to specialty lists they can join, a directory they can search, volunteer roles to meet more people for more engagement. But whether you're doing it through CDI or not, this is a great time for following up and connecting. And again, just like with our former clients, the holidays make it a natural time for reaching out to people to say, hello, I'm thinking about you. I appreciate you. Let's plan to make time to connect more over the holidays or in the new year. So let me know in the chat, how do you connect to colleagues, or how do you plan to, or will you, whatnot? Okay, that was a lot. What time is it? Okay, yes, that was a lot. So where does that leave us? Hopefully with a lot of ideas, strategies, and opportunities to help you make 2025 great. And here's what you're going to do from here. Number one, make a list of what you want to accomplish. And number two, as soon as possible, like as close to immediately as you can after you have that list, is grab your calendar and block out a few afternoons to make it happen. And look, only you know how you operate. So if you're somebody like me, I can literally take a whole day and get an entire thing done. I will just start it and work until it's done. Other people, they need to set timers, only spend so much time. Some people don't have a lot of free time. I once worked with a private consulting client who had single parent with children, busy practice. And we actually broke their calendar down in 15-minute blocks to find opportunity, and ended up with blocks on Sunday. And then we ended up having to create a second block because that was one that wasn't being honored and kept getting given away, so that there was the backup block of time on the weekly basis. But if you don't put it on your calendar, it's not going to happen. So whether that's short periods for you, break it down, commit some to your calendar, but be willing to be fluid over the holiday, just with the awareness of these are things I want to do. It doesn't have to happen in December either. If you want or need or are able to take time off, again, we all deserve downtime. But I know at some point you're going to want to have time for some of these critical actions, as it's important to review each of these at least once a year. CDI members, I will encourage you again to hit the live events page, as we're hosting, again, that live included acceleration event in January for planning, scheduling, and having things, just be lined up for the next 30 days. And it's a repeatable process you can use for each 30 days if you don't come back to the live event. We also have the on-demand event available for you. So whichever way and whenever you choose, just take action and you will always find success. All right, let me see. I see something in the chat. Lori says, ending with a great one. Colleague relationships can be so valuable. I'm guilty of slacking on this lately. We get busy. I'm really great at lying in bed at night going, I need to reach out to so-and-so. If I don't do it when I'm at my computer, it often doesn't happen. So I totally get it. And the busier we get, the harder it is. So thank you, everybody in the chat, for participating so far. Again, I want to ask you, watch for the replay page with the deep dive resources. We normally send those out the next morning, but this week I'm sending that out. I think everything goes out shortly after this episode ends. Because we've got the cyber offers, and today's only Wednesday. There's only two days left in Cyber Week. So those emails and social media posts are hitting every morning. So you'll see this later today. Definitely check out the page for all the deep dive resources that we've outlined. And there are more, but these are ones I felt were most relevant, some in the free stuff category and some in the members only category. And please, again, check out those Cyber Week offers. They're closing in 2 days at the end of Friday. And if you're not a member, I'm serious. Get over there and join now. There's just way too much ROI to be found inside with us, and the rates are they're just too good to pass up for what you're going to get. Your future is absolutely waiting. So let me quickly recap the offers that everyone has access to through Friday. And I actually got I popped up this, so you can easily find the address. If you just go to careerdirectors.com, you're going to actually see a banner across the top that you can click on to go to these offers. But again, and I'm not going to go in the order that you see here because why make it easy, right? I'm going to go in the order of what's happening when. So pricing, packaging, and closing live 6-day challenge course for $199 actually starts Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So that is a can't miss one that is happening right away to give you time to get everything planned out and work with a buddy over the holidays to prepare everyone for the prices that are coming. So you've already got sales in the books for January and then you're launching your new prices. All right, my second one on my list is the Target Niche Marketing 5-day live challenge course. It kicks off on, I think it's Monday, January 6th, whatever that first full week of January is. But there's bonus modules that you can work on now from the 6-figure flight plan course and the entrepreneurial wisdom course on niching, plus all of the additional resources so that you have enough to keep you busy. And then this is a concise process, so you'll be ready to go. Again, $199. Resume Writing Roadmap is our new resume writing course. It's finally, how many years have we had CDI? Over 20, and you're finally getting a course from my brain that goes with the companion Resume Business Roadmap course that I launched, I think, 3 years ago. So those are both back to launch prices, $497. The writing roadmap is, again, the map to my brain, some templates that I've used recently to help my husband land one interview, one job offer with a top 5 DoD contractor in his aerospace and aviation niche, and all sorts of other goodies like Kindle copy of my Resumes for Dummies book and whatnot. Resume Business Roadmap is a roadmap plan to a successful 6-figure business. Everything I know and do all in one place. Both courses have private communities that you can join for support from myself and colleagues in the classes. The writing roadmap has a live Q&A session scheduled near the end of January as well. Did I say both of those are $497, so they're 50% off. And if you've never bought Resume Business Roadmap and you're like, I need a complete solution, we have a bundle, both of the courses, for $897 combined. So it's 55% off regular prices. We have 7 certifications that are on discount right now. Those are certifications for coaches and resume writers who do resume reviews, certified resume analyst. There's the Master Career Director for both resume writers and career coaches who want to stand out. And then there are, when I say 7 certification discounts, it's kind of misleading because the other 5, we have Certified Master Resume Writer, Certified Executive Resume Master, Certified Graphic Resume Analyst, for the first time ever in 20 years, Certified Advanced Resume Writer. And then the CRS, the Certified Resume Specialist, that's actually a niche credential. And there's like 21 different niches that you can purchase in. And yeah, some of our very successful members some only have one, their favorite specialty. We have some who have 5 or 6 of them because they talk to those audiences and want to appeal to them as the best of the best. And even one person is like, I got the IT one. This is on the page, you'll see it. I got the IT one, and it helped me land a university contract for career services. So great way to stand out. Those are all 20% off through Friday. But I will point out that if you are a member, you're already saving 25% off of the non-member prices for our certifications. So it's literally 45% off. Like, I had somebody just buy it. We have the CRSs individually, $197 each for members, and then additional 20% off. We just had somebody buy, we have the unlimited bundle of all, I think 21. And if we add more, they are included in the bundle. But I did the math for them earlier, and it's like $75 a credential. So it's ridiculously low to position yourself as a niche expert in all those different areas. Then we have join and add a year, both monthly and annual specials for both tier 1 and tier 2. And you can save up to $171 on membership. And then we also have the Accelerator Club, which if you're joining now, you have the opportunity to join tier 1, which is regular membership, or tier 2, which is the Accelerator Plus membership. But for people who have been members for a long time, that used to be just an upgrade called the Career Industry Accelerator Club. So we've got like a super cool upgrade, literally $199 for a year of basically one-on-one coaching and consulting with me in a group format and custom training programs, which is priceless, I'm told. And so you can do a year of that for only $199 added on, or you can try a month for just $15, and then it goes to $25 a month. Literally, our rate is $37 a month. We have not had a $15 rate since we launched the program. I don't even know what year I launched it, 2011, and we only offered that rate. It was like a charter rate, so you can try it out for that low. And as I said earlier, get access to the last 3 months of recordings, as well as the next live event, which is every third Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m., plus access to your own community and many other great support resources that you can learn about if you visit our promotions page. So please go check this out. It's like, I feel like I'm giving away the candy store, but so much great stuff. So whether I see you in one of my courses live, at a member event, as part of the club, here in these live shows, I totally look forward to having CDI continue to be part of your next successes. So as I close today, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't ever miss when we go live Wednesdays at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. I don't see any questions in the chat, so join me, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. I'll see you next week, and hopefully I will see you in CDI even sooner. Make it a great day, and thank you for joining me today.